we go. Hi, this is Patrick Driggett bringing you BS of the week. It's the end of the season. We just had the Skybowl, and I am joined by my friend.
Hi there, I'm Kevin Lucy from the Glasgow Rushmores, and this week we have the Sky Bowl participants. First of all, we have the winner, which was Conrad.
Hi, Conrad Whittingham from Venice Rivets. Good to be joining you.
And we also have...
Hi, my name's Colin Andrew. I'm head coach of Conrad's Rabbits.
Well, such a pleasure to have you both. You know, Kevin and I, early this season, like preseason, we're like, what if we could get the Sky Bowl participants here? It was kind of a moonshot dream. We were really excited. You know, obviously at the time we knew it was going to be Conrad and someone else, and we just didn't know who that someone else was. Tom did try to play spoiler to that. Coach Watt made a good play of that, but you know, here we are. Colin, thank you so much for joining us. Conrad, as always, it's a pleasure. We really enjoy having you here and your insights. But without further ado, I think Kev needs to give his review of the Sky Bowl.
Okie doke. Well, going into the game, we had two unbeaten teams. We've talked about the Rivets an awful lot. We know they have a great offense, a great defense, a fantastic special teams. Colin's Swarming Giant Hornets have probably gone a little bit more under the radar, as it were, because they had some close games against the Sharks, they had some close games against the Statesmen. But nevertheless, Colin, it was undefeated going into the game. What many people might not know is that the Hornets have the fourth best passing offense in the whole of Big Sky, and he's got the 14th best overall overall offense. Whereas the Rivets, believe it or not, have only got the 16th best offense. So we sort of rubbed our hands together and thought we might have a game here. What happens, if you don't know about the Hornets, is they throw the ball probably 3 passes for every single rush that they have. The problem, to a certain extent, is that unfortunately, whilst Colin has the 4th best passing offense, the Rivets have the 3rd best passing defense. So to a certain extent, Colin's, if you like, advantages match up exactly with the Rivets. But nevertheless, we expected the Hornets to come out passing. It's their strength. And we expect the short pass, the quick pass, the short pass again all day long from Colin's team, because that's what they've done. They've got some fantastic players with Calgary, Tripson, Watson, all lined up. So that's what we expected prior to the kickoff. Then the game starts. The Rivets receive the ball, and 6 plays later, they have to punt it because the Hornets defense has stopped them stone dead. The Hornets start, and they start just exactly as we thought they would, with a 21-yard short pass to Watson. We all rub our hands together and go, game on, here we go. And then for some strange reason, the next 3 plays all went to their running back, who tried to drive the ball forward and failed. He was stopped, and they had to punt the ball. The Rivets then take possession. 6 plays later, they throw an interception. And again, we go, okay, well played, Hornets. Here we go. Surely now we're going to get the Calgary, Tripson, Watson show. It's going to come onto the road. But again, what happened is Calgary handed it off to Wim Bumpsup, the second, I think his name is, Wim Bumpsup. And he then went for a 3-yard draw play, a 4-yard draw play, and then they had an incomplete pass, and they punted it away. Unfortunately, or for the game itself, the Rivets then score on the next drive, and 10 minutes has gone, and they're 7-0 up. Now, still reluctant to pass for some reason. We're going to ask Colin about this in a minute. The Hornets then get stopped with their rushing plays. The Rivets go 14-0 up, then 21-0 up, then 28-0 up, and then at halftime they lead 31-0. And obviously at that stage, unfortunately, the game is well and truly over. The second half did get better for the Hornets. The final score ended up 52-20. But in the total game, and this is the bit that I'm going to ask Colin about in a second, this surprised me because in the total game, having all season thrown 3 passes to every 1 rush, in the total game, the Hornets attempted 19 passes and 26 rushes, which really did surprise me. So, Colin, I'm going to ask you, was that part of the plan, or was that something devious that our Conrad did to make you, with the optimizer, not be able to do short passes?
I have mentioned that Conrad's pass defense was set up short zone, and the optimizer just decided that our run line, although is really not bad, not that good, it doesn't move the ball, and the optimizer just decided to go for draws and wide passes. So it's kudos to Conrad, the way he set up his defense. I knew he would do because he's played 3-3 all season. He's got a nice technique, nickelback, and that stops the short pass. But the optimizer just decided it wanted to do rushes, which isn't our strong point. Every so often it's not so bad, but on the day it just wanted to do more rushes than passes. The second half it came a bit better, but the first half it was like I'm shouting at the thing, throw the ball, and we just didn't. But that's grats to Conrad because he set his defence up, and the optimizer just overruled, and there's nothing I can do. I didn't change any of my game planning for offense. It's the same as it's been pretty much all season with the odd tweak. But the rushes are down at 6th, 7th, and 8th. Well, 7th and 8th for sweep and pitch, draws in the middle somewhere. So, yeah, it was just the quality of his defence, the way he'd set it up, just forced the optimizer to go, ooh, I'm not throwing to there because he's got a really good pass defence, and I'm going, yeah, well, I've got a good pass offence. But, yeah, it just...
So how the heck do you do that then, Conrad? How do you set it up so that...
I think this year, Colin's absolutely right. It's that having that nickel back as well. And honestly, we've got a really good middle linebacker who helps loads in the short zone. And the defensive backs as a whole as a combination, are pretty much the best I've had. Our run D's been really suspect, but we've got 3 17s and 2 13s for the 5 DBs. So it was that thing of with the 17 middle linebacker as well, we have fantastic anti-short zone. So it was that thing of, when the Hornets through the year, whenever they'd got loads of points, it was when things like option passes would just keep on just taking them down the field. And it's really hard to slow down an option pass. But I think here the optimizer just moved completely away from it because we had so much initial strength. And I think the thing that helps is the optimizer doesn't consider the individual players, does it? For like who's going to catch it? It bases it on the overall team thing. So it wasn't considering it was Tripson who was going to be catching these things with his amazing strengths. It was like just based more on the basic play call level. So it didn't consider he would get all these receptions, and so it avoided those plays, which was kind of what we were hoping and counting on. So yeah, it was the optimizer really didn't do
great tactics, Conrad. Well played. Commiserations, Colin. You've had a great season though, and all in all, it was a good Skybowl. So is that number 6, Conrad? Well, congratulations from all of us here. That was an excellent effort. Patrick, over to you.
Yeah, we have Colin here. We just talked about the Skybowl. Kev, great breakdown of that. But now we have some questions. First to Colin. We haven't had you on the show before, and just thought we'd ask a couple questions about the team and just to kind of get to know a little bit more about you and the team. And so, first off, bring yourself back to the beginning of the season. It's new season. What were your expectations for the team headed into the season?
I looked at the season preview, and same as ever, we're average. Lots of people are better than us. Kevin, you were down as 5'5", really strong. Some people had you down as an outsider in the bowl. And we just thought, well, we've got some really good players in some really key positions. Everywhere else is a little bit weaker. I just want to beat everybody in my division, beat my rivals. That's the first up. Get myself as far into the playoffs as I can, into the end of the season, and see where we go from there. And I was really, really pleased. It beat my expectations. How can you not be happy with a 10-0 season? It's only the second time ever in the Hornets history, Giant Hornets history, and it was hard fought. So I exceeded any expectations I have, but I don't really set any.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, you've obviously had a very successful run for an LFC team with, the record that you just talked about. Congratulations, honestly, a wonderful season for you. Do you believe you have room to grow or with the team, or do you think this was the peak? A lot of people kind of build up to one culminating moment, Conrad notwithstanding, and that's their hurrah. Do you think you have room to grow there?
I've got my inside linebacker is a higher level than Conrad's, and he has mentioned his level. He is higher than that. I've got a running back coming in that's comparable, not quite as good, but he's exactly the same as Tripson. So we're going to do the same as we are going to do again. We're going to throw the ball slightly down on the quarterback, but we'll see if we get a new one or we could run with Whitney. But I think we're going to be there or thereabouts for another 2 seasons, maybe 3, and then we need to replace several really good players, such as my cornerbacks and defensive end, and maybe a couple of the offensive line. But yeah, I'm optimistic we'll be there or thereabouts next season. I've just decided, should I trade or should I not? I don't mind trading, but I don't want to overpay. That's, it's an issue I have. Do I overpay and get in early and get stuffed by aging, or do I wait till after aging and all the players have gone and everybody wants a high price for them? As Conrad will tell me he's got no picks left. I think, I don't know. I mean, he has got. I don't look.
I've got round 7 is the highest. Yeah.
I've got all my picks for the next 2 seasons ready. So I have got room to improve because I've got 16 picks if I need to trade out.
Just trade with Aid. He has more than the whole league, I think, right now. Doesn't he? Doesn't Aid Hill have I know he has a couple of my first rounders. Has anybody else looked at Aid Hill's? It's nuts.
Is it Gary that's got?
Is it Gary? Oh, I thought it was Adrian Hill. Oh, okay.
So no, I think it's Gary. Gary that's got 17 first.
That's right. It is Gary and the Surfers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some people off him, and he has some of my early rounders. So congrats to Gary this draft. But yeah,
can't coach all those people.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought Adrian. My bad. That's on me. Sorry. Thanks for the correction, though.
So yeah, I think we're gonna be hard to beat. If we lose 2 games next season, I'm looking forward to playing Conrad. I know that it's the LFC versus his division. I'm looking forward to playing it. He wants to play later. I want to play earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that will be the narrative early into season 36 for sure, is when Conrad potentially finally loses. So given the results you just had, is there anything you would have done differently starting at the beginning of the season regarding your coaching strategy or your drafting strategy? Is there anything you would have done different to maybe give you a little bit more of an edge?
No, I think the 10-0 in the regular season, we played some really, really tough people in our division. The Patriots' passing offense is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's really, really difficult to stop. The 66ers, God, I think they gave me 5 injuries, which struggled for anywhere after week 5. The Rushmores, I've only just got on parity with the Rushmores. But what I've done is I've gone to his stadium in the off week and stolen his head coach chair, this lovely pink thing. I've stolen it from the Glasgow thing while he was on his jollies. He was doing a bit of stuff. So thanks for that, Kevin. If I could have done something different, I would have gone a bit earlier and stole it. So we had to sit on a stump.
So it was you.
It was me. I've got it to prove it. In terms of the playoffs, I thought we were exceptional. We stopped the Sharks, a really difficult offense to stop. We stopped the Statesmen, really difficult, struggled against them in week 2 or 3, I can't remember. But we just struggled against the Rivets because they were too good. I'd sit at an average, and I do say I'm an average side. we punch above our weight, but we were just outmatched totally altogether. So I wouldn't do anything different apart from steal his chair sooner.
Well, thank you, Colin. I really appreciate that. Thank you for answering all my questions. And Kev, I think you were going to talk to Conrad about some stuff.
Yes, yeah, Conrad. We know you're going for a winning streak. Can you give us a bit more background into it? What is it? How many games is it? How many have you got left?
Well, I think at the moment now it's with playoffs included, but that's not an official stat. It's at 78 now, which is brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So the ones with just the regular season, which is what's monitored on the website, because we're now up to 60, we're one behind the all-time record, which was Mark Spencer in the GFL back in season 4, I think, to season 10. And he got 61. And he lost a few bowls along the way, though. That was the difference. So they couldn't quite keep it going in the playoffs. But that's the aim. So it's to try and hope when the schedule is kind of released that week 1 and 2 aren't too bad, and that we can just get those first 2, even if afterwards it kind of goes downhill, because that would be amazing to kind of get to that point.
Yeah, an amazing thing. So who do you not want week 1 and 2 then?
Well, Giant Hornets, we definitely don't, but I'd rather our bowl rematch kind of be a bit later in the year. I think the other teams, it's going to be interesting though, because as mentioned with Gary, for example, on the surface, a couple of seasons back, they got really close to us and we got away with one against them. In fact, got away with a couple of games. It was really close, but they've got, it was 6 round 1 picks and 4 round 2s this year. So if he drafts them to try and build an amazing young nucleus, then it's that thing, he'll have to spend all his coaching on them, whereas I'll be, in all honesty, coaching age 7, 8, 9 guys to just try and kind of keep it going for a tiny bit longer. So just depends really what he's doing. Other matches, I think the Generals, with the rotation we're going to play, and as they finish second in their division, and with their massive run attack, that could be quite challenging. So it depends whether that's home or away, I think, because if we're away with their massive run game, that's going to be very difficult, certainly based on how our team finished the season this year and if the mid-season aging is right. So I think I'd say the Generals and the Giant Hornets, the ones I'd rather avoid to later in the season. And maybe Titans, I think, will play as well, and they're always pretty good. So they'll be tough. But the others in my division, I just don't know. It depends what they're trying to do, whether they're trying to focus now or if the Maroons as well, if they're going to a bit more kind of look to the future or not. So not quite sure what their plans are, but I'd say, Generals and Giant Hornets.
So let's look at the worst scenario, and let's say you don't get the wins that you need. What's the short-term plan after that? Will you immediately rebuild, or will you go for it again? No,
because what will happen this off season is, because all the planning, and I've got so few picks, I've got I think around 7 and 2 8s. So we're not going to have kind of the young blood really coming through. So this season, even if it's just literally kind of trying to wheel them out, we're going to give it one more go with the vets and see whether it works or not, and whether we can get the winning run or whether we start losing or whatever. It won't matter. We'll just go for it to keep the record going as much as we can this year. I think if we lose the record and start losing, then get knocked out or don't make the playoffs or something, who knows, it's that kind of thing, then it will all depend on the aging roles, because if we get lots of nice aging roles, then kind of the team should last and have a chance to last a little bit longer. And even if we rebuild, it'd be more retooling, because we can keep some of those vets and be quite competitive still. But if we get lots of bad roles with age 8, 9, 10 guys, they'll just fall off a cliff. And if they fall to level 6 or 7 or so, then we're not gonna, across the board, we're gonna have no chance. So then it will be a bit more of a dramatic rebuild, I think.
And long term, do you see yourself staying in the Big Sky? Is it still going to be a rebuild?
Well, I think so. But it's that thing of absolutely, but it's the I think we'll have probably quite a long dip to recover because we've got so old. Do you know what I mean? So the trade values when guys start falling off, we're going to get a few good picks for some of the guys because they will still have some good levels. But like a guys, the secondary this year who are level 17, if they age down 3 or 4, then suddenly they're worth nowhere near as much in trade as older kind of level 13, 14s. And so it'll be hard to be able to get good level players young to be able to kind of build back up quickly. So it will take a while to kind of get that right. But yeah, it'll be part of the challenge to kind of try and come back from that. So yeah, that's where I'd see it. But for now, going to go for the run.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, and I hope it's not me that actually smashes your record.
It was a heck of a run, Conrad, and it's been a pleasure to watch. And obviously, all eyes will be on it next season. But really, you're a nice person. It's hard to hate your team. You know what I mean? You have to be more of a villain, I think, for us.
No, it's brilliant.
It's exciting, and I'm sure there's a lot of pressure you're feeling kind of on yourself to try to get there, and that it's really cool to watch. And congratulations on the bowl win as well.
Brilliant, thank you. No, really cool. Well done, really cool.
Yeah, so you're both here. It's the end of the season. It's very very exciting. It's a celebration a bit. Colin, is there anything you'd like to say? Open floor for you.
That's very kind of you. Thanks, Kevin. First of all, massive congrats to Conrad. And no little nod to my old team, the Massive. I always loved playing them as an ex-coach of the Massive. I started there for the first 5 seasons. So hey, well done them. But Conrad, what an achievement. Previous 3 bowls on the trot. You've won 78 games on the trot, 6 bowls. I'm your rabbit. You beat me 3 times, and it's not been close. I've been in for a while, but the while is in single-digit minutes, or at best I kept in touch for a half about 4 seasons ago. But next season I'm going to be quite confident. Got a little few puzzles to fix, but I'm going to be confident. I'll give you a better game. But yeah, great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hat on and I'm going to duck my cap. Well done. Absolutely outstanding, tremendous.
Yeah.
So where am I going? I think we should trade a bit more, but like I said, I don't like overpaying for things. I do like my own team. I like my own draft picks, and I get there. You trade like a dervish, and you trade really well to get 7th place. I look at one of my players and think, I thought I traded him to the rivets, and he's been traded on once or twice since. So yeah, you trade him, and then you trade him off for the same value you bought him from. So you've had him for a season, really good player, bit of special teams experience, and you move him on for the same. Absolutely tremendous. One person's donkey is another person's really good player. So yeah, perhaps I ought to trade a bit more. I've got a lot of trades, a lot of picks, so I might actually do. But I do love drafting. So what can I say? The game, well, I did plenty of turnovers. We're good at turnovers. That's what I set my game up for, to do turnovers, sacks. No, not interceptions mainly, but just incompletes. If you ever look back, you'll see we do turn the ball over a real lot on defense, running, defense. Not so much interceptions, but lots of incomplete passes. But I just couldn't get going anywhere. That optimizer, Conrad had his defense set up. I had a level 5 starter playing in the Super Bowl. I had 3 level 10 players playing in the Super Bowl. They were level 6 before the game started, before the season started. I played really well. I punched above my weight. I couldn't be prouder of everybody. We played really well. 10-0, won the division again. I'm beating you, Kevin. And now I think I either level or 29-28 against your record. I've stolen your chair. I'm doing really
well. Things are going to have to change, Colin. They're going to have to seriously change.
So yeah, a really great season. Thanks. It's been really great. Thanks for everybody for the nice comments they've made. And Conrad, again, I'll put my hat on once more time. You deserve it. Top cap. Well played, sir.
Thank you, Colin, and congratulations on the great season. And go ahead, please.
Sorry, Ben, Kevin, thank you very much for providing this entertainment every week for us. It's been great. So thank you, the pair of you, and all your guests for doing it. It is fun to watch, does make me smile, and thank you.
Yeah.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Thanks, Colin. That was wonderful. To the bowl winner, Conrad Whittingham. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, it was that thing of, Colin, it was a brilliant season. It's just that, but it was that thing of coming up again, that thing of Packers or us, kind of who you'd be playing. And it was that thing of just such a narrow margin and such a fine line in that game as to who you would have ended up playing. And playing the Packers, again, as your preseason game had showed, oh my gosh, it was one of those that could go any way. But the strengths and the way our team is just this year has evolved into is that thing of actually quite a weak defensive line, but decent linebackers, a really strong secondary. So we were kind of like, in that way, a really bad opponent. I think on offense, kind of the way that we try and set it up, because the offense every week has got at least 40, and it's kind of like got 50 odd in 6 weeks. So admittedly, the special teams have helped. But the thing on the offense is it is just good because it's a deep pass. It pretty much attacks everything, and our running backs run in and out. So we're hard to stop. So it really is. If we can force a few punts through the game, then we trust that the offense will do enough and we'll get enough to win. And so that's what happened here. There were just enough drives where you kind of, the optimizer took it to draw plays or whatever. So we then got those stops, and that was it. So the moment we were forcing a few punts, we were going to get clear on that. But defensively, it just, that we tried everything to stack up against Tripson, but it's, we kind of, fortunately, the optimizer really helped on that. I think looking forward to, I suppose, next season, stuff like that, and going forward, so much is going to depend on, it's like that thing, isn't it? What your average aging role is doesn't really matter. It's where the roles fall. And we'll be the ultimate one in that, because if the good roles fall on the core player, the key players, we'll be able to give it a good run next year. If the bad roles fall on those star players, then because of their age, they will lose loads of levels. So they roll an E, they'll lose 4, 5, or 7 levels. It's that kind of thing. And then we won't be able to coach that up across the board. So I think I've worked out, based on mid-season aging, if it was kind of like around average of the mid-season aging, I know it's hard to kind of tell those brackets, then we're probably going to lose plus or minus whatever, about 55 levels off our starting lineups. So that's across the main starting offense, defense, and special teams, which I class as part of the starters for me. So that kind of thing, we got about 30 coaching pops this year, or just under. And so it's kind of like, there's no chance of getting that back if there's that, or if we roll worse. But then if we roll better, and there's a few more kind of B's and A's and less C's and D's, that kind of thing, then it will make a massive, massive difference. So I think for how it looks next year and beyond will all depend on the aging gods, so to speak. But this year, chuffed to keep it all going. I said, Colin, you're really unlucky that it was us, not the Packers, who were facing, who would have been more of a kind of a better fit to take on for you. But next season, look forward to.
You have to face the opposition with, and I can't change things on a single game. I play to my strengths. I always have done all season, and I play the defense to my strengths. It was just that our strengths matched up with your strengths, and my weaknesses matched up with your strengths, and I couldn't do anything. Thought our special teams played really well. We didn't give up massive plays. That cost the Packers massively, and I thought we stuck up. We gave some yards away, but you start on the 51-yard line, I start on the 40-odd yard line. That's neither here nor there. It was just your defense moved the ball, stopped me moving the ball, and my offense couldn't do anything, and my defense just wasn't good enough. We did turnovers, which we're really good at, but we're just not good enough. So, But running back Escobar, he is better than Tripson's ever been, and he's got an A to C on aging, so he could be at level. I think he's age 1 now, so he could be 3 or 4 levels better than Tripson ever was.
So
Wow.
you'll be trading him to the Rushmores then?
And he's got strength. Like, you play pass long, you can't have him. You play run line, you can't have him.
I could change if I had a player like that.
Yeah.
I look forward to every pardon the interception talking about Escobar and not Tripson now.
Yeah.
And I am just going to say, massive congrats against Conrad, but Tripson, I think he was a 4th round pick. He's 5th in the receiving yards, and Calgary is not including playoffs, but he's top pass player. So, well, for a third round pick for him, way back when, he's top of the Big Sky passing, and he's miles ahead in touchdowns. That's 70, 80, 90 touchdowns ahead. What a great player he was. Hopefully sooner or later he'll get into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Just sadly, Conrad, Git, you've beat me twice in a bowl. Well done.
Well, cheers to you both. It was a wonderful end of the season. You're both top people, and really appreciate you being here on the show with us. It's been a wonderful season, full of nail-biting comebacks, surprise challengers, some teams we all counted out at the beginning of the season just rose up and really gave us some fun storylines. There were, those soaring underdogs, the history in the making with Conrad's run. We wouldn't be able to do this without the community, without R&R, especially our 2 bowl competitors who joined us today, and most of all the show. We couldn't do it without our good friend Kevin Lucy. I really appreciate it. He does so much. This last season he took over editing duties from me because it was overwhelming, and I don't think he's asking me a single question other than just getting the files and doing it, and he just puts a whole lot into this show. And so I really appreciate him and everyone for the responses. We're not a big community, and so every time you all leave comments on the videos themselves or in the commentary, it really makes our day. It's really well received. We appreciate it. We really love this game. Obviously, for us to be here talking about our little simulation football game, we love it. It's wonderful. So many good people. I couldn't do it without you, and it was an awesome season. 35 was just magical. It was a wonderful season, and thank you all. Looking forward to the draft coming up. Logistical note, there might be a little bit of a gap for our next video because we're going to try to figure out what we're doing with the draft coverage. Also, Kev is deciding to fly halfway around the world to do some things with family, and a well-deserved vacation after all the editing he's been doing. So we'll be out for a couple weeks, probably here or there. It'll be intermittent, but we have no plans to stop. When season 36 comes in, we'll be in hot with weekly coverage, and it's awesome. Thank you all out there. Thank you to all the people here right now. Really appreciate you all, and hope you have an awesome week.
Bye, everyone.